I've come across this horizontal crack in this wall here. And if you have this in your home, it's not that great of a deal. I'm gonna show you how to fix it so it doesn't come back. So we're gonna cut this open and we're gonna see. So yeah, this is just popping off. But here's the second phase. Okay, we're gonna need to find the studs and secure these pieces of drywall tighter. Different ways to do it. I can see a screw head right here, okay? So I'm guessing there's a stud there. I'm gonna use the stud finder. And this is a Franklin stud finder. I'm gonna put a link to this in my bio. This green line here, that's the middle of the stud. So I'm gonna make a pencil mark here. Here's this old screw here. And 16 inches over on center, you're gonna find another stud. So right here. I'm gonna drop some screws in here now that I clean this out. I'm really surprised there wasn't a bigger gap because I see that a lot. So I'm gonna drop a screw right into the stud and watch to see if this drywall moves. Okay, slightly sink the head, not too deep. You don't want to break the paper. See that moving, that's tightening up right there. I might do another one on top of that just to be safe. Just below the paper, there we go. And we're gonna do it on each stud along the crack. We've opened up the crack and we've secured it on both sides. We're gonna fill this crack in. And yes, we are gonna put some drywall tape into here, but this is pretty deep, too deep to push it through the drywall tape. I got a couple pieces of a couple different drywall tapes here that I like to use. Now the first tape that I've used this for a long time, they've actually made this better. It's more tightly woven. But since I started using this fiber tape, you see that in there? They've come out with fiber fuse, which this is a fiberglass tape. So there's been good feedback on this. So I've been using this lately, and we can go right over the top of the crack with the fiber fuse. This cuts real easy. Okay. And set that in my mud bed, and we're gonna go over this right now with my 20-minute mix. And once we do this, we're gonna let this dry, and then mix up some more. When you're doing this, you don't have to wait for it to dry 100%. Not this 20-minute. You can do multiple coats in the same day, but you're gonna wanna let it dry overnight before you even think about priming it and painting it. So this hasn't dried all the way, but it's still good. It's gonna dry through this patch. We're gonna bang on another hit of my 20. We wanna hit this a couple times today. And then we'll hit it with a topper. And it won't have to be dry 100% to even put the topper on it. And my topping compound is right down here on the ground. I like the light green lid. There's one with the blue lid. They're both fine. They're just easier to sand than this stuff you have to mix from a powder. Okay, baby, this is the easier sanding compound. You can see this is still wet, but that's okay. Not gonna paint it today. I'm gonna do a couple coats of this. Had overnight to dry. I've got a couple coats of my 20-minute mud, and then I have a coat of this ultra lightweight compound. It's easy to sand. So I'm gonna do another hit of that, but before that I'm gonna lightly sand this because there's some little pieces coming out a little bit. And what I wanna do, how I wanna sand it, I wanna use my shop vac. If you have an attachment to a sander to the vacuum, use that. But if you got a shop vac, turn it on, draw the dust into the vacuum. for our finished sand here. I'm gonna use the vacuum to draw the dust again, and I'm gonna focus on doing this really fine here. I want this to just taper right into the wall. And then I'm gonna go a little lighter over the middle of the patch. Here we go. The circular motion. You don't want to carve lines into your patch. A little wider, a little easier in the middle. Okay, so now we're gonna throw some primer on here. I have a 3/4 inch nap roller. I got a premium walnut wood primer, and I am gonna put this on a little bit heavy, and then I can come back and kind of work it a little bit to get the stipple to where I like it, to match the stipple on the wall. Because you don't want to go real fine with a low short nap roller where the patch will be smoother than the rest of the wall. So build that stipple up, and your repair is going to disappear. Now we're ready to paint.
If you've come this far, please leave a 100 in the comments. I really appreciate you watching. Hey, I know you can do this and save a lot of money. Just follow the steps. You can do it. Thank you so much. Good luck on all your painting projects.